The South African government makes a great amount of budget information available to the public, so much so that it ranks highly on international surveys such as the Open Budget Survey. This has a positive bearing on the public being able to access information about how public resources are made available to ensure access to education, health, housing, as well as many other services. Access to information is a constitutional right. Section 32(1) of the Constitution states that everyone has the right of access to any information held by the state, as well as to any information that is held by another person and that is required for the exercise or protection of any rights. Everyone therefore has the right to access information, with the state being legally required to provide the information. The South African National Treasury is a transparency champion steward of the Global Initiative for Fiscal Transparency, which is also called GIFT. GIFT makes it clear that a range of budget information must be easily accessible if the public are to participate meaningfully in the budget process. This means that the state must encourage and facilitate public participation by providing complete budget information in ways that are easy to access, understand, use, reuse, and transform. This process must be done in a timely manner. Making the information available and ensuring that public participation becomes entrenched and meaningful is equally important. This helps the people to know where and how they can access this information and how they can engage and influence public officials, decision makers, and policymakers. The South African Constitution also has provisions that support people's participation. For instance, Section 1181 states that a provincial legislature must facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the legislature and its committees. It also obliges the legislature to conduct its business in an open manner and hold its sittings and those of its committees in public. So, what does this mean for a member of the public such as Xoliswa seeking to influence the amount of money allocated to education infrastructure in rural areas or to health services for women and children? What opportunities are available for public participation within the budget space? There are various opportunities to participate in the budget space, both formal and informal. For example, Parliament may make a formal call for written or oral submissions on a draft law. You and your community may invite a government representative to listen to important budget issues affecting your community. You can either submit your inputs to a committee of Parliament or the provincial legislature, depending on the issue and the level of responsibility. This can happen at any point in the budget calendar, depending on the process that you are hoping to influence. Both Parliament and the provincial legislature are obligated to hold public hearings on the budget. This provides a great opportunity to scrutinize and share your views on the use of public funds. For a month-by-month list of ways you can participate in the budgetary process, visit www.vulekamali.gov.za/participate. The public can participate in national and provincial planning and budgeting processes from March of each year to influence the next financial year's budget. A financial year begins in April and ends in March of the following year. Performance is monitored and reported on monthly. Public involvement can also help strengthen government accountability for service delivery. The legislatures, as representatives of the people, have the very important task of holding the executive to account. This means asking questions about how departments are performing and making sure that departments do the work that they are supposed to do to meet public needs using precious public resources. Ongoing public interactions beyond legislatures and Parliament by communities and activists can improve the accountability of government departments and the executive. Any member of the public can also make suggestions about the use of public funds directly to the Minister of Finance. Therefore, it's vital that we all utilize the spaces made available to enhance our participatory democracy. It's also possible to write directly to the accounting officer or the head of a relevant department requesting a meeting to discuss matters relating to the performance or delivery of services and use of resources by that department. Activists and members of communities can ask to present their observations from social audits, evidence from visits to public facilities, and/or research to the executives of provincial and national departments. You can share your budget analyses and reports on www.vulekamali.gov.za to encourage debate and discussion with other users, researchers, and public officials. Participation, accountability, and oversight driven by the interests of the public can help to strengthen service delivery and make sure that government spends public money properly. Get involved. Vulekamali. Your money, make it work.